consider myself introduced. I will preface the poem by saying this comes from Stephen Vincent Benet and his sister Rosemary Benet's Book of Americans, which was published in 1933. And it's almost doggerel. It is doggerel, but it's really good doggerel. And it's brilliant in the way he uses point of view and humor to portray various people in history. I'm going to just read the ones, as there are four of us, and it's Abraham Lincoln, which is a poem that's been brought to my mind so often lately. Somebody we knew left town, that was one. Anyway, Abraham Lincoln, 1865. Lincoln was a long man. He liked outdoors. He liked the wind blowing and the talk in country stores. He liked telling stories. He liked telling jokes. Abe's quite a character, said quite a lot of folks. Lots of folks in Springfield saw him every day, walking down the street in his gaunt, long way. Shawl around his shoulders, letters in his hat. That's Abe Lincoln. They thought no more of that. Knew that he was honest. Guessed that he was odd. Knew he had a cross wife, though she was a Todd. Knew he had 3 little boys who liked to shout and play. Knew he had a lot of debts it took him years to pay. Knew his clothes, knew his house. That's his office here. Plain good lawyer on the whole, though he's sort of queer. Sure, he went to Congress once, but he didn't stay. Can't expect us all to be smart as Henry Clay. Need a man for troubled times? Well, I guess we do. Wonder who we'll ever find. Yes, I wonder who. That is how they met and talked, knowing and unknowing. Lincoln was the green pine. Lincoln kept on growing.
Thank you for that. Why I went to my family's July 4th gathering, despite calls to boycott the holiday after the massacre in Charleston. Because my cousin Eileen invited me. Because I might be the only one there who's read Frederick Douglass's famous The Meaning of July 4th to the Negro speech. Because if the Emanuel AME families can forgive the white-hot firestorm that ravaged a Bible study, I can forgive the bigots in my family. Because forgiveness does not mean silence. Because I've been meaning to speak truth to Peter. Because my sister Gail told about 5th grade what I'd never heard. White families boycotting desegregation. My family not, though. White parents blocking entrances. My sister slipping through, though. Finding homeroom. Finding her soon best friend, Dolly. Story like a locket opens, but you had to be there. Because I wear stats like upper neck tattoos people talking with me have to face. Because I want my face in the family photo. Because the family photo finally has faces of color in it. Because I want my face in the face of the Fox News branch of the family. Because children, their children, are worth going out on a limb for. Because 100 Facebook photos of the new baby don't equal one photo, one close-up with the new baby's applesauce breath in it. Because one of the new babies is brown and her big brother is brown and their dad is black as a country night and doesn't cheat at touch football the way my brothers cheat at touch football, which might not be about race, but might be. because they asked me to speak a poem, because poems can walk through fireworks, because, to quote Douglas, the conscience of the nation must be roused, the hypocrisy of the nation must be exposed, its crimes proclaimed and denounced. Because I can't claim I denounced racism if I only denounced it on a page. Because at this stage, I don't know who will be there next year and who won't. Because my cousin Eileen invited me. Because my cousin Tommy cried during my poem. Because my cousin Nancy, telling about an unfair speed trap ticket she got, her first ever, finally got it. Ferguson's anger. 21,000 residents had 33,000 outstanding arrest warrants, mostly for traffic violations. Because the hypocrisy at the heart of freedom and equality for all is as visible to all of us now as fireworks in the night sky. Because that flag's not slapping the sky over Charleston anymore. Because my cousin Eileen invited me. Because they asked me to speak a poem. Because next year, I'll speak this one.
That's a tough act to follow. My name is Madeline Hoffman, and I'm reading something that I wrote about an event that happened just about a year ago, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less than a year ago, and 6 months after I had visited the West Bank in Palestine. Shards of rage. 4 children playing soccer on the sunlit beach in Gaza, under the white-hot sun, rays too bright to look at directly, causing the deep Mediterranean blue to sparkle playfully, like the children running freely, finally, after being trapped in their home for days, because their parents said, stay inside, stay safe, away from the war zone outside. How long can you keep 4 boys aged 9 to 11 cooped up, frightened of every sound, looking at each other, wondering about the weather, trying to figure out what to say to each other, or if it's okay to laugh, or if the Mediterranean waters are too cold to dive into, or if the fishing boats came, or if any fishing boats went out this day, or if they came back with none of the Gazan fishermen missing. Oh look, Mom's not watching. Dad's asleep. They slip out the back door in a split second. Race over the uneven sands in colorful t-shirts, long shorts, and sneakers, passing their well-worn soccer ball ahead. One brother kicks it right back, then scampers ahead again, admiring his kick, watching his brother's foot trap the ball. The game soon changes to hide and seek, in and out of abandoned buildings on the beach, in and around empty cans and crumpled papers, glinting and crackling in the sun and the wind near their homes. The boys try to kick the ball on target, or lose each other in hide and seek, smiling when they do, laughing when they don't. They see the glare of the sun and the stars on the water and in each other's bright eyes, but they don't see the Israeli soldiers in a gunboat right off the shore, or the pilots in the plane above, and they don't see the bomb headed their way, and even if they did, they wouldn't have time to escape, or hide, or trap it with their feet, or kick it away. The bomb explodes, the boys stop running, stop yelling, stop everything, are suddenly silent. The TV cameras and the sobs roll. The bombings continue. Images are shared of more children, injured, disfigured, dying. Fathers lying beside their strangely still children, unable to let go, holding them tighter, grown men squeezing their eyes closed, hoping to keep from crying openly, but failing. Doctors denied supplies, hospitals not immune from bombs, life and lives disrupted, mothers wailing, gasping for air, doubled over with pain. Neighbors running down mostly deserted streets filled with concrete rubble, carrying children limp in their arms, first to hospitals, then to cemeteries. Reports say over 500 Palestinian children dead. Later, Israeli media say the pilots were up too high to know their targets were children. In the US, I have time on my hands to write. It feels better to let it out. The words rage-filled shards of sorrow and tears.
Hi, I'm Terry Bass, and these are my poems.
Hey, Terry.
Bricolage. Amazing. With the use of anything found anywhere, the visionary among us mindfully captures the moment with what? Bricolage. Yes. Grabbing the mind with effect of matter-of-fact, stories spinning out to reach any attention one may be willing to pay just to say, hey, hey, hey! Hey, that can't be, can it? Can't happen, can it? Didn't happen. Did it? No. Reality explains everything, right? But the mind, oh, it follows what? Fear? Intrinsic to wheels that whirl after tales told in the dark, eyes shut tight to keep out what you dare not enter? Maybe. What is sought with heart, yet found with ingenuity and used without spare, can bring joy out of shadows to who may gather near with mind clear as the ability to breathe with ease. It seems all over. He sits there, staring, just like me. He heard the words, but registration lagged like a 5 o'clock shadow. No sooner had the speaker departed than all this man left here wanted to do was equivocate, mainly because the mouse of his mind could no longer negotiate its self-assigned maze. Who among us wants to admit that defeat? My dad always argued in the details of anyone's topic, for it was just that place he was right. There, word mastery outstripped reason and became passion itself. Point made at 40 love. Game, set, match. Win with a grin and walk away, head nodding in the retelling, the most important point of which was that he had been right after all. And now, stymied by his self-made trap, caught in his own delusion. Webster or someone like him noted such as idiosyncratic belief or impression firmly maintained despite being contradicted by what is generally accepted as reality. Who among us wants to admit that defeat? Who can walk softly there? 2 haikus. Time waits. Time waits for no one. Looking back, I see clearly a prescience lament. In my final autumn anytime, rising memory leaves crimson gold brown falling into my full heart.